I wanted to talk to you about how you can furnish and accessorize your home and even organize it on a budget by reducing, reusing, or recycling. So first, I actually prefer it. I would say at least 80% of our decor and accessories are secondhand in one way or another. I do prefer to shop secondhand because one, I get a better quality of furniture, accent pieces, and others like couches and chairs, because those furniture made in prior decades were made of better materials and just built to last. The workmanship and craftsmanship is just outstanding and meant to last a long time. Also, I like to shop secondhand because I get to save money. Usually these things cost less than buying something brand new. And then thirdly, for sentimentality and legacy sake, a lot of what I have, or a handful of things I have, are passed down from either my parents, my in-laws, or even grandparents. And I also am just very sentimental. I love the idea of more historical vintage and antique pieces in my home, and just thinking about that piece of history and that place and time in our history is just fun for me. So with that said, let's turn the camera around and then I will take you on a little tour of some of the things that are secondhand in my home. We'll start here on the bookcases. I have some pieces like this little cup and that vintage Fiesta ware, this little Parisian print, and this little, I think it's like a Japanese sake cup, are all from my grandmother's house. And also a lot of the books that I have on the shelves are picked up from secondhand and thrift stores. And so I make sure to get them on subjects that I am interested in, that reflect my interest. And then that way they are true to my lifestyle. And then this bowl was a secondhand piece from a thrift store. So was this print. And this rosebud vase was actually on the altar of the church with a little rosebud in it to represent when my daughter was born. And then I have some milk glass, all from my grandmother, the same grandmother that I got the Fiesta ware, and more secondhand books. Some of them are new, but most of them are secondhand. And then taking a look at the furniture, both of these chairs, I have two, and I got them at a consignment and home decor shop here locally. And they were custom made at one point for someone, but they were getting rid of them. So I think there were 4 altogether, but I got 2. And then this couch also, I picked up secondhand at another consignment shop, furniture consignment shop, and it is by Jonathan Lewis. And I researched them before I bought it to make sure that that it was a well-made sofa, because I hadn't heard of them before. And we've had it for 5 years now, and it is the most comfortable sofa we've ever had. And it's great for taking a nap. A guest could even sleep on this. It's almost like the depth of a twin bed, and we have really enjoyed it. Here's that second custom chair that I got at a secondhand store. And then this piece that I use as a side table is a vintage suitcase that I had from my grandmother's. And this is an antique drop leaf table that some friends were getting rid of when they were moving. I've always wanted one, so I snatched it up. I just now put it down here. I've had it for a bit, but I just put it down here, so I haven't accessorized it yet. But I also have to keep in mind that our dog will, who's right there, where is he? He's the guilty one. When we come in through the garage, which is behind me, he will jump over the couch in this table, or when I've had a prior console table there, and knock stuff off. So I have to be careful about what I put up there. These plates, most of them are secondhand. Either I got the turquoise ones that were from my grandmother's, and this one, all of them except for this set are secondhand. These are actually Home Goods finds. This fixture also was a Facebook Marketplace find. I knew when we moved into this house that I wanted a aura bronze or black candelabra, and an interior designer had used this in a project. The client ended up not wanting it, and so I got it for a steal. The table I bought off of Facebook Marketplace, and had the lady that I bought it from, she also does furniture refinishing. So I had her, because it was painted black and I didn't want black, I had her take it down to the bare wood and just give it a coat of wax. She did a little bit of a whitewash on it. And then these chairs are vintage Thomasville, and I got them. The cushions need to be redone, so I had that done, but I just think that they are gorgeous in here. This picture is something my sister sourced. She has an antique and vintage shop, and so the bowl that goes with it, because it's in an old washstand pitcher, is being used in a different way, but I'm using it as a vase, so that's a way to repurpose something older. And like this chest, my mom got it for me on one of our antiquing adventures for a birthday present, and I use it. It's a little dresser, I think, but I use it as a buffet in our breakfast room to hold linens and votives, stuff like that. And this one also holds some like melamine plates that I use outside and some placemats. I picked up these little swans at a vintage store. They're vintage salt and pepper shakers. I just thought they were beautiful. I grabbed this secondhand. It's a piece of art. I got it at an estate sale. And looking into the kitchen, this island, I wanted something because I was used to having an island, and when we moved into this house, it doesn't have one. So my brother-in-law and sister, the same one who has the vintage and antique shop, used some wood, scrap wood laying around their shop and built this for me. The only thing new from it was the legs that they got at a big box hardware store. This vintage milk can is also from her shop. I use it to store, so I repurpose it to store dry goods like dry produce like onions and potatoes. And then coming into the dining room, this buffet is a antique that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. I snatched it up as soon as I saw it listed. It was like $50, I think. And the lamps also I got off of Facebook Marketplace. They are Ethan Allen, and I think I paid $50 for the pair. I did get new lampshades to go on top of them. This mirror is repurposed from my powder room. It is a vanity mirror, but I didn't want that in there, and I did want a big mirror in the dining room. So I took it down from the powder room, had it hung vertically in here, and it gives me the look that I was going for, and I just got to reuse and repurpose it. And I picked up these plates, the blue and white ones, from an organizing client. She wasn't using them anymore, and I had admired them, so she offered for me to keep them. Picked up these salt and pepper shakers, also vintage, milk glass from a little gift shop in Cayman Brac on our vacation there. So in this case, it reminds me of our trip, and it is something vintage. I hung some of the plates from my grandmother here as part of the decor in the dining room. And then walking over to our foyer, here is a piece of art that my daughter drew in art class in about 3rd grade. They were studying Van Gogh. And so you can kind of consider this repurpose or reusing. I just thought it was gorgeous, so I had it matted and framed, and it's one of my favorite pieces of art in the house. And here in the foyer, I picked up these 2 rush sheet vintage leatherback chairs, 2 of them for $50 total. And when I looked them up on eBay, when I had considered using them for the breakfast room, they are very expensive. So I got very lucky in that. And then this table that I'm using in the foyer came from another client, organizing client. She didn't want it, and I was looking for something, so we made a little barter trade. The mirror here belonged to a dresser set of my parents. I took it off because it was attached to the dresser. I took it off and painted it kind of in a copycat of Ballard's designs, and use it separately from the dresser in here in my foyer. And these light fixtures are a really popular brand. I can't think of what they are right now, but they normally go for several hundred each new, and I got them $200, I think, for the pair. So I had been wanting this style of light in my foyer for years. So it pays to scour Marketplace and be patient as you look for that just right piece or accent. Same for this chandelier in the dining room. I was looking for something in this color palette, the silver tones. This is a chrome, and someone was selling it, and it came out of, it was what builders used in a custom home build, and they were taking it down to personalize it with something that was more their style. So I grabbed it, and it was, normally another several $100 fixture, and I got it for $75. So again, saving a lot of money. My mom got me this votive holder or sconce at a yard sale or something. She saw it and thought of me. It was brass. I painted over it with cream colored chalk paint and did some patina to it, and have had it ever since for many, many years. And this little print was another hand-me-down that came from my grandmother's house. In our wet bar, I have a lot of vintage things like these. I call these my Mad Men glasses. They came from my grandmother's house, and I saw them in an episode. Some just like them in an episode of Mad Men. That's why I call them my Mad Men glasses, but they're my favorite. And I love serving guests or myself with them. And I have some vintage pictures up there. I think one I picked up at an antique shop, one came from my grandmother's. That's just a little look of the downstairs. Upstairs, every dresser is passed down, two from my parents, one from my in-laws. There are just lots of things like that throughout our home, little accessories on the nightstands, even outdoors, a lot of stuff I've picked up from Facebook Marketplace. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how beautifully and affordably you can furnish your home by reusing and repurposing things from secondhand stores, consignment shops, thrift stores, and even things that are passed down.